Not knowing your numbers in business is like driving a truck at night with no headlights. You might stay on the road for a little while, but sooner or later, you're going to hit something and the crash will cost you. Your numbers are the headlights. They are showing you exactly where you're going, when to speed up, when to slow down, and how to avoid wrecks that could take your business out. So the question is why us as business owners do we not know our numbers? I do tons of coaching calls with plenty of clients out there, and I will tell you the number one thing that I see that is a big problem is business owners not knowing their numbers. In today's video, we're going to share the 5 key performance indicators that must be tracked inside of your business every single week with no exception. So let's get you headlights, let's get you on the right track, and let's get you on the same page so that way you can run your business based on data instead of just at the whim. So the first thing is going to be budgeted hours completed. So this is something that is tracked for all working team members that are out in the field, you included if you are out in the field. What this does is this tracks how much planned work actually gets done each week. Because the reality is this: if all of your crews are getting off at noon and the trucks are sitting in the parking lot not making money, we're not being very productive. We have to see, based on how much team members that we have, how productive the current team actually is. That is the number one biggest thing that I see business owners, when I ask them, hey, how many budget hours are we doing a week? Sometimes they can't tell me that because they're not using budgeted hours. Maybe they are just going off of the number of properties, which you can't do because if you go off of the numbers of properties, each property size might be a little different. There might be a corner lot, size property that is much bigger than a lot or house that's in the middle of the street where it has houses on both ends or both sides. The other key performance indicator that must be tracked, and guys, every single week on this, please, is close ratio. We track this diligently, almost daily for some of my managers and myself. And what this does, the close ratio, is it identifies and measures how many estimates actually turn into paying jobs. So you could go out and send out, let's say 10 estimates. If only 3 of them get accepted out of that 10, that would be a 30% close ratio. Understanding this close ratio will help you identify where there are problems or issues inside of the sales of the business. Because if we have a low efficiency score, then we can kind of dissect, okay, maybe is it the deliverability of the estimates? Maybe is it the way that we structure the estimates? We maybe need to make it more simple. I've seen estimates before from landscapers, by the way, that are like literally essays long in the line item description. And I'm like, me as a customer who's very busy, and this, who's paying for this, like, I don't have time to read an essay long of all the things that are included. Can we take that, throw it in ChatGPT, come up with a bullet point of 3 to 5 line items of like what is actually included in a clear, concise manner so that way the customer actually reads what's going to be included in the estimate, make it simple and easier, make it so easy for customers to give you money. Don't make it hard. Okay, close ratio is super important. Whether you're in growth mode or profit mode, that percentage will change, but you want to track it every single week. The third thing is going to be your efficiency score. Ultimately, what the efficiency score is, you basically take the budgeted hours that you think that the job is going to take. So if you go out and you quote a job for $400 and say, you know what, that's going to be 4 hours of work. That would be $100 per hour of labor that you would charge to the customer. Then you would put a set budgeted hours amount for that job, which would be 4 budgeted hours. And then what you would want to do is compare that at the end of the day or week collectively with all of the jobs that were quoted of how accurate from a labor perspective and from a quoting perspective are we when it comes to our efficiency. If they are significantly coming in under the budgeted amount of time, then maybe we need to adjust our quoting, which might actually fix our close ratio. Same thing vice versa. Like there's tweaks in the business. In order to make sound decisions in the business, we have to have the data. If we don't have the data, we're just blindly running our business. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got from my mentor was this: only take advice from someone who is already where you want to be. And that changed everything for me because I became very selective on who I took guidance and advice from. Now, my business partner and I are coaching and mentoring growing, other home service business owners just like you who are wanting to grow and scale their business. So if you're wanting to get to where we are at, click the link in the description below and join us. Number 4 is budgeted hour capacity. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. So this is an example of what a per week budgeted hour capacity is. So all of our jobs are assigned a certain budgeted amount of time, all the way down from a measly little mow that might take 20 minutes, all the way up to a full day job that might take a full 8 hours, and everything in between. We have a set budgeted amount of hours, the per week capacity that gets assigned for each team member. So we expect our team to do 30 budgeted hours per week. At this specific location here, in our Salina location, we have 2 team members, which obviously 2 times 30 is 60. So it's just shy of 58 budgeted hours a week per capacity. So if we come down here, it shows how far we are actually booked out. If you look at this red line, this is our max capacity. This would be like, hey, we're overbooked. Like there's too much work on the schedule, to where the week from September 21st to the 27th, we're actually under, which means there's a little bit more wiggle room. Maybe if somebody needs a day off, that's a good time to take an appointment. Or if everybody wants to work 5 days a week, then we just need to fill that schedule with more jobs. And sometimes it's, hey, look, let's just take the overage here from this week, push some of the landscape jobs back that can be delayed a little bit to fill up the schedule for the next week. And so that is an example of what that would look like. All right, the last one, which might be one of the most important things, is going to be the number of yellow slips and complaints. What this does is monitor the quality and customer satisfaction in real time. When I am making data decisions in the business, these are the 5 things I'm asking my GMs. Hey, what are the budget hours? What's the close ratio? What's the efficiency score? Where is our budget hour capacity at, which would be 58 at max? And what is actually on the schedule? That's why Copilot is super nice with the KPI cockpit, is I can see all this data and the number of complaints. So this is kind of why I really like using Copilot. It's really nice. It's called the KPI cockpit, and it shows you everything you need as long as you're actually using the software properly, which again, some of the people that I coach are not doing that. So I encourage you, take some time, actually build out, use the software the right way, so that way you can actually get your numbers. It's so interesting to me when I have GMs that come to me, as well as coaching clients, and they come and they ask me questions. They bring me their problems, which is good, right? I'm here to help. But I start to ask some questions like, okay, well, where's the close ratio at? And it's like, hey, I don't know. I'm just kind of winging it. I'm not really going in there and accepting or declining. Like we need to be doing these things and following those procedures properly. Otherwise, I sometimes tell them hey, I cannot give you advice because I don't have the data. I need the data to be able to tell you what to do next in your business. And if we don't know the data, we both don't know what's going on here, right? So I encourage you guys, dig deep into your business, look deep into the numbers, make sure that you're using your software to the full capabilities, going off of budgeted hours, knowing your close ratio each week. These things must be tracked every single week. When I was first starting the business in the first year or 2, I did not track these every week, and I was blindly leading the blind. It doesn't work. Now, most every decision is decided based on the data. It really takes the guesswork out of things, and I encourage you guys tremendously. I'm telling you, you make your life way easier if you have actually the data. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button. Otherwise, you can't watch the next video. See you in the next one.